Welcome to the Galactic Mind Weather Report. So I'm coming to you today on the first day of the White Wizard Wavespell. So that's 13 days dedicated to our capacity to open up to the true enchantment that exists in our reality. You know, our ability to see the mundane around us through the eyes of a child, to let go of this idea we know everything, and to allow the full resources of the universe, the magic, the real enchanting magic that exists, to enter into our experience in order to animate our dreams. Now, we've just closed off the 13 days of the Red Dragon Wavespell. And if you've been tracking these weather reports, and if not, you can see the earlier ones, but if you've been tracking them, you will know that this is a 13-day period that was aimed at, really helping us to birth what we're going to be working on personally and collectively for the next 260 days. So it involved contractions and these birthing experiences to bring clarity as to what it is that's coming out of us. Now that we've finished that birthing process, now don't get me wrong, it goes for 260 days, so it's continuously birthing into the world. But the initiation process of the birthing has now come to a close yesterday. Today, we're opening the White Wizard Wavespell. And today itself, the first day of every Wavespell is the magnetic tone. So today is White Magnetic Wizard. And the White Magnetic Wizard is actually the galactic birthday or the galactic archetype of the Dalai Lama. So there's a little pop quiz knowledge for you. Now, what's really special about this, because the White Wizard can be a very powerful archetype, these 13 days are intense. And it's because the White Wizard is all about opening up our receptivity to allow this energy, to allow this enchantment into our lives. And these wave spells don't happen coincidentally. They're mathematically coded and they're in their places for a purpose. And when we think about the birthing wave spell has now happened, we're getting clarity as to what we're birthing into the world for the next 9 months. Then the White Wizard comes through to help us evolve our capacity to open up and allow the full potential for that birthing to happen. So another way to think of this is, again, one of the key words is enchantment for the White Wizard. If you look all around me here, now, I am surrounded by absolute beauty. I am blessed to be living in a property that has such natural, old, beautiful aspects around it that it just contains so much magic there. Now, on the days that I'm stressed out and I'm frustrated and I'm worried about where's my money coming from this week? How am I going to pay the bills and the rent to even live in a place like this? How are the kids going? Is their education going okay? Am I dealing with this all right? You know how it gets when all those things are happening in my mind and I allow that stress to come forth. I get obsessed with needing to know. I need to know where it's coming from. How's it going to work out? What's going on? And that needing to know puts me in that very traditional, stereotypical adult mindset, grown-ups mindset that you read about in all the storybooks. And from that mindset, I can be anywhere on this property and still not see anything. It all just becomes bland and mundane. All of these beautiful grass trees and old structures that have been here for God knows how long. They have so many stories to them that I don't know. They all disappear. And all I can see is my own stress and a pain in the ass. I see ground that hurts to walk on. I see, there's more leaves that need to be raked up, or, that's all I can perceive from that state of mind. And it doesn't seem magic at all. But then there's times like right now where I use this work to really connect in and bring myself present to this moment. And especially with the sun setting, it's always a magical time of night. Then all of a sudden, all around me, I can hear so many sounds. I can hear humming of the flies. I can hear the birds. And just before, some of the red-tailed cockatoos flew over. And then all around me, in these great old granite boulders that are ancient. And then you see all these beautiful plants, these trees that the indigenous elders would have walked upon once upon a time. There are so many stories in this land. And when I find myself coming into this place to be receptive, to open, my body is calm, it is anchored. I'm not worried about survival right now. I'm feeling really good. And when I'm in this space, suddenly I begin to hear. I can hear the stories. I can hear the life force all around me because I'm receptive to the enchantment. And when I'm in that receptive state, I can start receiving that magic. And my life story becomes a part of this magic, this enchantment. And my life story suddenly has this capacity for, the fairy tales, for miracles to happen. And I guess what I'm trying to get at, what comes up for me for this 13-day Wavespell of the White Wizard, is it's going to evolve our capacity to surrender to our own fairy tales. To let go of needing to know how it's going to happen. And life might test you. Life itself may test you. It may break your back on life experiences. Not because it wants to punish you, because it wants to break the grip your mind might have on your reality. Because when our mind is what is controlling our everyday motions, our everyday perspectives, and don't get me wrong, our mind is an incredible servant to the heart's intelligence, the masculine to the feminine. It is the incredible, it achieves amazing things for us. It conceptualizes data beautifully, but it's not here to make decisions for us. And so it's important we let our heart's intelligence guide us. Now, what does that mean? I can give you words, but it's an experiential thing. You will have tasted it at some point in your life when you felt your guidance from somewhere in your body, this knowing of where to move and how to move. And so this White Wizard Wavespell is really, a powerful process of breaking down any constructs we think we have that we've used as, because often we use these mental constructs of knowing as protection from the greatest fear humanity has, and that is the fear of the unknown. I feel this is one of the greatest fears, the fear of the unknown. Death, fear of the unknown. All these things. And so what do we do as a human species? We create belief systems, dogmas, structures of all sorts, insurance companies, all these things to try and put that fear at ease. But the fact is that nothing can take away from the fact that there is always underlying a deep, mysterious void, nothingness, an unknown, that we all have to come to peace with at some point in our existence. And it's terrifying that, I've had some of these experiences with plant medicines where, you psychotropic plant medicines where, you go into this other world and, reality fades away, control disappears, and you find yourself in this void. And at first it's terrifying. There's nothing to hold on to. The mind, the ego state has nothing to hold on to. And then it dies. And it lets go. And it surrenders. And for brief moments I've tasted what it is to just be in that void. And the experience is more expansive than anything I can never put words to it. Even the greatest poets always struggle. But it's something we're terrified of, the unknown. But for every day and for every moment that you can embrace the unknown in your life, the more you open your heart to receptivity, to allow the magic of the universe to enter and enchant your day-to-day reality. You begin to live a mystical life in the mundane. Everything that happens begins to contain meaning and purpose. The blessings and the sufferings. Your life begins to be a fairy tale. And in that fairy tale, there are dangers. It can be scary and it's tough. And we need to choose who we surround ourselves with. We need to provide safe environments for ourselves. But we need to trust as well. We need to trust in life. We need to be able to take each step as it comes, because tomorrow does not exist. Next week does not exist. And yesterday is gone and no longer exists. There is nothing but this very moment. And only by surrendering to each of these very moments in the now, as the masters of Eckhart Tolle and all the likes before him spoke about, that's all there is. The simplicity of it is too much for us humans. We create complexities and obscurities around it to try and make it more palatable. But the fact is that it's actually quite simple. There is only the here and now. And when we can bring ourselves into that space, when we can be the shaman in our own lives, we open up to the receptivity of the power of now. And there is so much power in this very moment. And so it's your job now, for this next 13 days, to see how much you can bring yourself into presence, how much you can open your heart to the universe, to let go of this right and wrong judgments, and just find what's right and wrong for you in every moment, irrelevant of the world around you, and take one step at a time. And you may just notice that the mundane begins to come alive over these next 2 weeks. You may find voices whispering on the winds, subtle hints from spirit, synchronicities coming alive. And they'll be speaking to you and guiding you. So use your discernment through these next 2 weeks and see how much you can open yourself into the moment, to open yourself into the now, becoming accepting of where you are now. And that is where you fully begin to harness the power and begin to create your fairy tale. So thank you for tuning in to the Galactic Mind Weather Report, and I'll see you mid-Wavespell in about a week. Until then, enjoy the ride.